Hey, hey! All right, here we go. Back with you here today on this Tuesday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance all across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes. That's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. I'm Matt. Beaver is here today. You are here today. And so we got the whole gang. We can have a show and can get into whatever it is you want to get into. It's cool with me. And there, I'm going to tell you now, there's some news out there. There's some news out there. Let's see. How could I, if you don't know, okay, some are going to know what I'm talking about here. But if you don't know, today we have some newly crowned national champions. Now, how would that be possible on August the 19th? Well, I'm going to tell you shortly. But we do. We got some new national champions. As of today, August the 19th, 2025. What on earth is he talking about? Well, you just got to stay tuned. Headlines are coming up in just a bit. Get on in here. You can be a part of the show, and I hope you will be. I hope you'll text or call or comment on the live stream. Hey to you, by the way, if you're out there in YouTube land or Facebook or X, formerly Twitter, feel free to pop a comment up there. You just post it. I can see all the comments on all the different platforms coming in on one place, and then pop them up on the screen. We can all see it on the live stream. Like, for example, here is Sven right out of the gates. It's nighttime where he is over in Berlin, Germany, but he says, guess what? DJ Lagway participated in his first scrimmage since December 20th of last year. Yeah, okay, so we got Florida in the news. Thanks, Sven. Good to see you. JS290 said Georgia is perennial preseason national champs. Well, I get what you're saying, JS290, but that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, actual crowned national champions today. Stay tuned. You can also text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776. 601 number, 885-3776. That's the number to text the show, the Country Pleasing text line. Man, I went to Kroger last night. Among the other things I was picking up, including the ingredients to make tacos, I went over there to the meat refrigerator section and, opened the case there. I'm going to get me some jalapeno and cheddar for later. I got plenty of it. I was going to get some. Then I spun around, and in the display behind me in the refrigerated section where this guy is stocking it, and he's just getting started, and I can see in his box is all these different flavors of Country Pleasing sausage. And I said, hey, sir, excuse me. He says, hey. I said, am I allowed to just get out of this box here before you stick it? He said, yeah, get whatever you want. So here's what I got. Green onion, original, some more jalapeno and cheddar. Let's see, there was two more. But also I got pork and pineapple, the bun size links that come in a pack of 3 for making sausage dogs. I'm talking racked up. So I am ready to go. Text me on the aforementioned Country Pleasing text line at 885-3776. And give me a call on the Junction phone, 897-1059. The Junction phone line, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil Company has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. That's a little while. They've been at it a long time. So call me on the Junction phone. The number to call, 897-1059, 601 number, 897-1059. Prince, you're right. He says tacos are for Tuesday. He said that on X over here. And listen, Prince, I don't know what it's a sign of. Or is it? But I had leftover tacos this morning. At one point, I even thought to myself, man, I can't wait to have those leftover tacos for lunch. Then it got close to lunch. I got in a hurry. I wasn't thinking. I looked over. I saw a banana. So I hastily made myself a peanut butter and banana sandwich. Tip of the cap, Elvis. Had that with some chips and an orange sugar-free Kroger brand soda for lunch. Got done, walked in the kitchen, throw that stuff away, and went, dope! Dadgum, I forgot about the tacos. That's what I really wanted for lunch. So I just might eat those tonight. And Robert, my man, number 20 in your program, number 1 in your heart, former Mississippi State Bulldog himself on the number 1 defensive side. He said, my man Matt, glad to see you're doing well, old teammate. Well, you too, Robert. Good to see you as well. Thanks for commenting over here on Facebook on the live stream. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau, go! The home team. And yes, old. You can go ahead and type the whole. You can put old because I got my hand up. Okay, old. Now, okay, and Jason, I'm coming to your text in just a minute. That subject is a part of our headlines coming up, brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank here in Mississippi. But first, I got to talk to Beaver about something else I saw in Kroger that I am not too sure about. You know, and this is Beaver, by the way, happy Tuesday. How you doing?
I'm good.
This is not directly sports related, but I feel like everything, including sports, is bacon related. Agree?
Yeah, so you can tie anything to bacon, I think.
Beaver, I sent you a picture. It is not photoshopped. They are selling bacon in Kroger that is Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored. Did you see the picture I sent you?
I did.
What do we even make of this? Let me just tell y'all, okay, I won't give, well, look, I'm going to tell you what it is. It's in Kroger. Hormel Black Label Limited Edition Natural Hardwood Smoked Bacon. And it says cinnamon sugar flavored thick cut bacon coated with cinnamon sugar rub. It has the Cinnamon Toast Crunch logo on the package of bacon and says Cinnadust Seasoning Blend Rub. What do you make of it, B?
I don't personally want it. I've seen this. I know CTC's got its hands in several things. Because remember, I sent you the CTC Hershey's Kisses.
Yeah.
There's also CTC flavored, one of those iced coffees that you can buy in a bottle. I think Starbucks makes them, but I'm not sure. But anyway, they sell them at the Krogs and such. And it's CTC. It's a collab with them. So, yeah, they got their hands in a lot of products right now. This product, I don't want it, Matt Wyatt.
That's the thing, B. Like, okay, you want to tell me we got a novelty piece of candy over here, right? A Hershey's Kiss, and it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Okay, fine, whatever. But this is bacon we're talking about. What are you going to do? I don't need it. Who needs Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored bacon? I'm not too sure about this.
You know, I may have already talked myself into this in the last 40 seconds after saying I don't want to try it. As I do, I get curiouser and curiouser about these things. Well, now I downright feel like I have to try it just to give you a review.
Okay. All right. Well, if you do, let me know. Okay. I couldn't bring myself to reach in there and buy it for $7.49. I'll be honest with you. I just couldn't make myself do it. But anyway, okay, just so you know, y'all, that's out there. We now live in an era where we don't just sell bacon. We get bacon that has been dusted with all kinds of other branded things. All right. So feel free, dive in. Maybe it's the best thing ever. I don't know. I just couldn't make myself get it. I just could not make it happen. All right. Relatively close to the top of the hour. We're just getting started with you here on this Tuesday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Headlines.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening, and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Right here in Mississippi. Anything mortgage related, anywhere in Mississippi, especially here in the metro, places like Starkville, Oxford, Tupelo, all the way to Memphis. Anything mortgage related, go there. Start online at mortgagemanms.com. Here it is. Auburn football has announced they are recognizing 7 additional national championships. After years of consideration and debate, Auburn football is now going to, and the stories I read, and like this one, they keep using the word recognize. They're claiming it. Auburn is now claiming 7 additional national championships. That's going to bring their school total to 9 national championships. This was confirmed today. It is official. They are claiming 7 national championships they didn't get credit for, they think. Each one of them represents an Auburn team that was awarded the national championship in a particular poll or service. Those years include 1910, 1913, 1914, 1958, 1983, 1993. Undefeated yet punished by the NCAA 1993. And 2004, the year that they went undefeated but were left out of the BCS title game in favor of Oklahoma and Southern Cal. They're claiming that one also. We got quotes and everything, but we'll come back around to that. All right, so Auburn is claiming a bunch of national championships. Headline number 2, Oklahoma is offering fans a chance to attend post-game press conferences. Now, you're going to have to pay to be able to do it. Oklahoma is offering this stuff. It's called Sooner Magic Memories. Okay? Sooner Magic Memories. Program created to give fans greater access. The cost for 2 people to sit in on a media press conference after the Oklahoma and Michigan ball game is $692, $692.11. Now, don't ask me how they came up with that. For the home opener on September 20th against Auburn, for $576.86, you can sit in on the press conference post game. I don't know if that gives you the right to ask a question or not, but file that away. If it does become a money maker, goodness knows it'll be coming to a school near you pretty soon. This was brought up earlier on the live stream by Sven over in Berlin, Germany, and he said Florida quarterback DJ Lagway finally taking reps at practice. This was yesterday. DJ Lagway, quarterback, Florida, really talented, big-time player, took practice reps yesterday for the first time since they began training camp. They got him ranked in the preseason, all that. Who cares? Preseason rankings is as useless as me wearing a visor. Dumb. But anyway, he did 11 on 11, all that kind of stuff. He's out there now. And speaking of quarterbacks and former Florida quarterbacks, the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts, have named Daniel Jones their Week 1 starter. The guy they got from the Giants, instead of Anthony Richardson, the former Gator, who was a first-round draft. I guess that's 2 first-round draft picks in there. But anyway, Colt signed Jones back in March. He got let go by the Giants. It's a 1-year, $14 million deal. And he won the competition, so he's going to start in the opener. And those are your headlines brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank right here in Mississippi. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com, mortgagemanms.com. Now, listen. Back to Auburn claiming 7 additional national championships. In fact, if you're looking at the live stream, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or X, you can see over my shoulder, that's the 1993 Florida versus Auburn game. And I would encourage you to check that out on YouTube because they have the version of this game. There's Danny Werfel. They have the version of this Florida game from Auburn, Florida, 93 that is video, but the audio is former Auburn play-by-play man on the radio, the Auburn radio broadcast with Jim Fife, which would really be a throwback if you want to go see what that used to sound like. He was a great one. But anyway, we got a guy texting the show who was on this team, who now is a national champion. And if he didn't have a national championship ring before, I better be getting one soon. Coming to that shortly. Jason in Flagstaff, Arizona, he texted the show on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, I'm hung up on that 2004 Auburn team. The others listed were at least voted for by some form of goofball media. Inc. He said 0 zip nada for 2004 Auburn, and for good reason. That USC team was a monster for 3 years in there, with only Vince Young close to beating them. Yeah, that's the thing about the 04 deals. You did have the BCS, and there was no such thing. Well, and see, it wasn't like the only other thing other than the BCS back in the BCS era was the AP poll, the Associated Press poll. And see, that's sort of the crux of the issue was the other previous 2 national championships that Auburn was claiming this whole time, 1957 and 2010, were the 2 years that the Associated Press also awarded the national title. See, here's a quote from John Cohen, AD at Auburn. For too long, Auburn has chosen a humble approach to our program's storied history, choosing to recognize only Associated Press national championships. Athletic Director John Cohen said in a statement. Starting this fall, we've made the decision to honor the accomplishments of our deserving student athletes, coaches, and teams from Auburn's proud history. Our visible national championship recognitions now align with the well-established standard used by the NCAA's official record book and our peers across the nation. Now, listen. If you don't think that last line in there from John Cohen, the AD at Auburn, was intentional, very intentional, that it said NCAA record book, okay, fine. But it's also a well-established standard used by, and I quote, our peers across the nation. You know what John Cohen really wanted to say. A well-established standard used by our peers on the other side of the state of Alabama. You know that's what he wanted to say. And he basically did say it in not so many words. You know good and well that's true. Oh, man. Nick texted the show, Country Pleasing text line, said, get Prince to get you some of that Williamsville bacon. He's already done it, Nick. He did it about 2-3 years ago. It was more than I could eat. I mean, it was incredible. Dog Tired in Florence texts, and he says, so if Auburn claims 7 new national championships, who are they sharing them with? Obviously, some other universities claiming the same years. He says, I guess if any college in Alabama wants a championship, just scour the record books, find one like the Tide did for their 15. Let me make this statement. Jason sent me that. I didn't even know about it. because I'm kind of not on social media as much as I used to be. Really, like now I'm almost not on there. My photography stuff is on Instagram. That's about it. But I'm getting back into football, so just stay tuned. But listen, I didn't see it. I didn't know till Jason texted it to me or tweeted it to me. And he's like, "What's your reaction?" My first reaction was, "Okay, fine. Claim all you want." First of all, I think my actual response was, I say, roll tide and go ahead. But seriously, this is what I think. Nobody but you cares what national championships you claim, especially those that are 70 years ago, some more than 100 years ago. No one cares what you claim but you. So for me, I think claim all of them you want. Just claim them. What difference does it make? Who cares? Really, only your people care. I don't care. You're Auburn, War Eagle, claim all. I don't claim twice as many. What do I care? I don't care. It makes no difference to me. Makes you happy, do it. So if you bring it up, hey, Matt, should State claim the 1941 national championship? You bet. Claim some more of them. Who cares what anybody else thinks? We like it. Hang a banner. We get to talk about it. We're the only ones that care what we claim. Claim it. Stop acting as though you're responsible to somebody else for you want deciding, oh, we won it that year. We're going to put up a banner. It was 90 years ago. Put it up. Stick around.
This is Jake Mang, former Mississippi
Y'all
State
heard me
Bulldog.
talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. When I say they do quality stuff, they really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, is it? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. Know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love.
A menu full on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your own team. Robert said on Facebook he'd give them the 2004 deal. And he says they would have beaten Oklahoma or USC that year. See, and that's the thing about it, Robert. Like Jason on the text line says, Auburn wouldn't have beaten USC. You on Facebook on the live stream say they would have beaten either one of those teams that year in 04. By the way, side note, quarterbacked by a Mississippi kid, Jason Campbell, in 04. And what, 04, wasn't that like the Cadillac Ronnie Brown teams at Auburn? I mean, it was super, super duper. Okay, so we can say one or the other. We just don't know because they didn't get to play it out, right? So we don't know. We can say they did. So again, because no matter how strongly, let's say you have 2 people on either side of that argument. One says they wouldn't have beaten USC. One says they would. Well, no matter how strongly either person feels on either side of the argument, it's still 50-50. And it's because they didn't play. We'll never really know, no matter how strongly we feel about it. So for Auburn to claim it, I mean, again, that's why I say, go ahead and claim it, Auburn, because Auburn people are really the only ones who care if they claim it or not. You think USC cares if they just claim it? No, they don't care. USC's like, we want it. We played the game. So that's just one way to look at it, I guess. And I agree. It's the great thing about the playoff, you can settle it on the field, which is okay. Robert, me, you, and the rest of us, if we wanted to take this and use it as a segue jumping off point into a conversation about the modern playoff, we could do it. I don't really want to. I mean, but we could, because this is what I'm saying is if you play on the field, it's just less guessing on it. Somebody goes, well, don't expand the playoff to too many teams because all you're going to get is more blowouts. There are only a handful of teams can win the whole thing anyway. Why expand it? I'll tell you why. I'd rather watch the blowout of the 2 seed versus the 25 seed or whatever it is. 20. I'd rather watch that blowout and see it happen than to 20 years later just guess. Well, here's what would have happened if they'd played. When you could just play. Who cares if it's a blowout? At least they played it. Play it. That's sort of where I'm getting to these days. Now, Lou says on YouTube, that Six Pack Speak, the website, has been recognizing the 1941 championship for years. He says, I agree. Well, my thing is, school, recognize it. Go ahead, do it. Should have already done it. Put up a banner. Who else you answering to? Nobody. You don't have to answer to anybody. Just do it. Claim it. We're the only ones that care if we claim it anyway. We're going on 100 years ago. Rick said, let's give Jeffrey Simmons his individual championship for smacking the new quarterback there at practice yesterday for the Titans. Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't see any video. Is there a video of it? I did hear about it, though. All right. Like I said, you can Text me on the Country Pleasing text line. Number to text is 885-3776. 885-3776. Text away on the Country Pleasing text line. You can also call me. Phone lines are open to you on the Junction phone. That's right, the Junction phone. Fueled by Prince Oil. They've been fueling Central Mississippi for 60 years. Junction delis are part of that as well. Convenience redefined. So give me a call. The number to call is 897-1059. Got it? 601 number 897-1059. Denzel sent us this way back in July. Told us that it had gotten released in Walmart. It was bacon-flavored Cinnamon Toast Crunch. We've fully crossed over because now we have Cinnamon Toast-flavored bacon. Crazy times, y'all. Now, what does this mean? Patches texted the show and goes, all of this Cinnamon Toast Crunch and whatnot enhanced foods is a conspiracy of what? GLP-1 pharmaceutical companies? I don't even see. I'm not smart enough to know what that means. All right, here we go. Scott Stacy, number 54 in your program, number 1 in your heart, defensive lineman at Auburn, 93-94. At Hines before that, and at Prattville High School before that. Texted in when I said Auburn's claiming championships. Wait a minute. Or wait, no. We got to clarify. Scott, he texted in and said, who's responsible for this nonsense? Were you saying that claiming the championships is nonsense, or that the Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored bacon was nonsense? That might have been it. That might have been what he was talking about, was the bacon. All right, let me see here. Both. Scott said both. Scott said claiming it and the cinnamon bacon is nonsense. Okay. Let's see. Unnamed texter says, hey, Matt, good afternoon. This bacon has actually been around for a while. You call it candy bacon. You cook that. It's called candy bacon. This is a cook that worked at the yacht club, used to bring it up here to Nissan all the time. And let me tell you, he says it is delicious. He says, by the way, you put it in the air fryer, bake it because you don't want to fry off that rich, delicious cinnamon. So there you go. Beeve, if you do get a hold of it, you go to Kroger and get that Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored bacon. You can cook it in the air fryer. We have that recommendation. And I am whoever texted me this is going to get a round of applause because he's picking on people who go goo goo gaga over the quote unquote arm strength of these quarterbacks coming out of high school. I'm sorry, coming out of college. Well, high school for that matter. But an unnamed texter says, what do you mean the Colts aren't starting Anthony Richardson? He hit the roof with the ball. I mean, Anthony Richardson, who, he may be a wonderful person. I've never met him. I don't know one way or the other. Is he a phenomenal athlete? Yeah, big, tall, strong, heavy, runs fast, throw a ball a mile, all that kind of stuff. Those things are merely thresholds you meet to qualify for the opportunity maybe to play quarterback, but they don't mean you'll be a good one. They don't. Ask Drew Brees. They don't mean that. Ask Phil Simms. Not what it means. Brady, slow as Christmas. So what? Did Brady ever hit the roof with a ball? So, every February and every April, it's pro day and some draft workout. And look at this throw that he made. He's wearing shorts and a T-shirt, running around in the indoor practice facility with one receiver. No defense, nothing. Look how strong his arm is. Gosh. Richardson, the latest example. It means nothing. Every single quarterback on every NFL roster, first string through practice squad, they all have strong arms. Sure, varying degrees. It don't mean anything. in terms of running an offense and getting it in the end zone. Doesn't mean anything. It's not what matters. So again, thank you for bringing that up. What do you mean they're not starting him? He can hit the roof with the ball. So what? Yeah, I read the John Cohen quote earlier on Auburn claiming their new national championships, and Junior 49 said, I know a lot of MSU alums that could care less what John Cohen thinks. No, that's true. I do find it interesting. I mean, Scott played on the team. He played on the team that's on the video. Like, if you look, you may see him in the ball game, number 54 on the defensive line. 1993, Auburn hosting Florida. And he says it's ridiculous, claiming national champions. Jason in Flagstaff says, because, on the other side of my former teammate Robert, who was on Facebook watching the show, Jason said he didn't think Auburn would beat that USC team back in 2004. He said, though, I agree with that, though, that how in the blue, you know what, it took big-time college football over 100 years to start a playoff is mind-boggling. Well, Jason, it was always this, all these things that we can't wrap our heads around, and the decision-making of leaders in college football, big-time college football over the decades, are all that confusion and even trying to figure out what they were thinking is a result of the people making the decisions for big-time college football have for a century been trying their best to have their cake and eat it too at the same time. To sort of have one foot in education is what this is all about, but at the same time have the other foot in this is really about big-time entertainment and money. That's what it is. The hypocritical nature of the leaders overseeing college football for 100 years is why you've had things that you look at it and you go, how this doesn't make any sense. How can you go that long and not have some sort of playoff? Well, that's why. Bowl games, protects the players, they're student athletes, they still have to take exams, right? And then we had 50 bowl games. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. Stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both. Break me off a piece of that. Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland, just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. You know, it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the
Just listen to that! At The Zone 105.9 and coming to you worldwide at TheZone1059.com.
All right, back with you. Rolling along. Text or call or comment. Love to hear from you today on this Tuesday in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. State Grad 98 texted the show, said if NCAA football video games were available during your playing days, what would your rating be? I don't know. What kind of ratings do they give them? Is it like, what are you talking about? Is it, what is it? Is it stars like recruits, 5-star, 4-star? Like, I don't really even know. Is it 1 out of 10? I tell you what my rating would be in reality. It'd be 6'5", 230, 4'9", 40, decent, good college backup. That's what my rating, there it is. Let's see, Hunter, and I apologize. I'm not a video game guy, so I don't really know the language. Hunter texted the show, country pleasing text line. He says, hey, Matt, I have 2 football topics for you. At Western Kentucky, 16 out of 22 starters are transfers from this cycle? Really? You got 6 guys who were on their football team a year ago, but the other 16 starters all came. What is the number for state, Hunter? Well, I guess we'll have to see who starts the first game. And then it's a little, in today's game, for some positions, the word starter is a little bit of a misleading deal, right? Because you go, well, so-and-so's a starting running back. Well, you look at the end of all the ball games, he probably split the carries with somebody in some of these. So-and-so's a starting defensive tackle. Well, but they take him out on third downs because another guy's a better pass rusher, some of that stuff. So, but still, I'm interested to see what the number is for state. And then Hunter also said at Middle Tennessee State, they are saving $500,000 by simplifying uniform combinations. Savings are redirected to revenue sharing with players, and they're going to improve safety equipment. And then he says, do you see more teams saving money this way? Well, Hunter, it's interesting. So that's Middle Tennessee. You save $500,000 by cutting out all your uniform variations and then pass that money along to your players in the revenue share deal. Somebody said yesterday on X, I saw that you searched college football. It was all over it yesterday. And they said, some guy goes, that's a pretty neat deal. They're going to save this money and instead use it to pay the players. I'm like, pay them for what? What are they paying them for? Oh, their name, image, and likeness. Time out. You telling me we've got marketing, name, image, and likeness at Middle Tennessee State University? Not making fun of them, but don't tell me it's marketing. Okay, then you go, well, it's the legal technicality, which I can understand that, right? It's the legal technicality of, okay, name, image, and likeness, and we pay you so that we have the rights to it in case we ever want to use it. That's now we legally have got the thing on the paper. But all it is words, because really what it is a way to pay you to play. See what I mean? It's all a workaround, and everybody admits that. What did the Bible say? Let your yea be yea, let your nay be nay. In other words, yes, no, clear, muddy, true, false. Just say it. Don't tiptoe around. What did Jason say? Jason in Flagstaff said, varying degrees, quote unquote, is what way too many people miss these days. He says, talking about quarterback arm strength, he says, you're not starting in high school these days if you can't drive a nail at 40 yards. Hey, have you seen, I'm not kidding. You seen some of these high school kids throwing the ball now? The training and everything's so good, and they're all playing 7-on-7. They're making great throws. Side note, by the way, if I don't mention it now, I will forget it and not mention it. But I'm working on a film study of just getting to know a little bit about Braylon Braxton, the new starting quarterback at the University of Southern Mississippi. He transferred from Marshall. He was Marshall's starting quarterback last year for Charles Huff. He was 8-0 as a starter. He played in 11 games, 8-0 as a starter. He was the MVP of the Sun Belt title game. 6'2", 220. He can run. He can throw. Really good player. He's now at Southern Miss. They voted him the Sun Belt people voted him the preseason Sun Belt Player of the Year. And I tell you, man, kid's good. He can play. It's his third school. He went to Tulsa, Marshall, and now at Southern Miss. Rotor Wash texted the show. Country pleasing text. He says, is it crazy that I don't think any championships before segregation should count? Yeah, desegregate. That's what you're saying, Rotor Wash, is during the era of segregation. Prior to, in college sports, having black athletes playing at Alabama and USC and all these places, right? Prior to that, it's segregated, and you're like, they shouldn't count. You talk about a different era. He says, regardless, though, 100-year-old championships do not help you with recruiting. No, it's not about recruiting, really, is it? That's what I see, Rotor Ross, that's kind of what I'm saying, is what difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference. Really. I mean, maybe it makes it easier on your athletic staff, marketing staff who are putting out materials, and it gives them something fun to do. Does Auburn claiming 7 more have an effect on anything? No. Especially now when, let's be honest, 95 to about 98%, that's an accurate number, of the kids who will make a decision to come to Auburn to play football are making it based on what? Say it. Say it out loud, everybody. Money. How much Auburn is paying them to come play. 95 to 98% of the kids that are going to come and play in this era that are going to come play for them, that's what they're making the decision based on. The end. So do you think, that's why I say, who cares? Only people who care what championships you claim anyway, your own people, claim them. Do it. State Grad 98 says, I think this is a sarcastic shot, but it's really funny. I appreciate the humor. He said, I consider you to be one of the top 100 quarterbacks that stayed in my lifetime. So don't sell yourself short. Boomer Sooner. By the way, Boomer Sooner, are you going to be one of the people that pays $500 so that you can go to the post-game press conference? I don't know if they'll let you ask a question or not. Boomer Sooner says, Matt Wyatt, 6'4", 230, 4940 / legendary pooch punter. Come on! You got to be known for something, Boomer Sooner. And look, just go ahead and say it. One of the top 5 fight songs, hands down, in all of college athletics. No doubt. Never been to Norman, Oklahoma, but I'm going to go one of these days. Boomer Sooner, were you there when the wagon turned over? Did that hurt anybody? Man, it looked like it did. Scott, who played at Auburn on the 93 team, said the only effect that championships will have for Auburn is somebody's ego. I used to have, Scott, I used to have this sound effect that I would do on radio shows. It was a ding, like the bell at the hotel. Bing! And it usually got hit when there was a good idea. Well, the previous company that I worked for, I did the show remotely. I wasn't even in the building, you know. But they had my show and other shows going on the speakers in the building. Well, their front desk at that company used one of those bells. And the boss worked in the hallway, just kind of down the hall from the front desk. Well, the speakers got my show going. I'm not even there. Something happens. I hit that button. It goes, ding. He jumps up, goes to the front desk. He thinks somebody's up there. It happened 2 or 3 times. He got tired of it. He got real mad. You know, one of those paranoid people that thinks everybody's doing something on purpose. I didn't even know. I never even thought of it. He was already mad by the time I found out about it. Whatever. Well, hour 1 is in the books, and you know, there's Kobe and Sven and Hunter and everybody, JS290 on the live stream. Your comments, I will get to those when we come back, start hour 2. The text line is loaded up. We'll get to those when we come back and start hour 2 as well on the Country Pleasing text line. Don't forget to call me on the junction phone, fueled by Prince Oil Company, fueling Mississippi since 1960. I'll give you that number on the other side. Stick around.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and murraywest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, you know, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, murraywest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online, murraywest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I had this opportunity come up to a friend of mine that was an agent here at Farm Bureau that, you know, he said this may be something I like to do because he knew I was involved in the community. And what we do, we're supporting the community. We're doing stuff to protect the members of our community. I've been here almost a decade. And what we do, we help people every day through the products we sell. We make recommendations to them, stuff to protect their assets, protect their lives, their families, and you know, we're local. We're local people. Everybody that works in this office has grown up here, lived here, played ball in this community. I've coached in this community, been on the park boards, the sports league boards, the booster club boards. The community is what's important here in Farm Bureau. We push the local community. We're a Mississippi company. That's a Washington School team ball from 2019. Greg Wallace was the head coach then, and him and I were really good friends. I've been in Greenville my whole entire life. My family's been here. This is home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to support the people of Washington County, protect them. I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County. We are the home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both. Break me off a piece of that. Look at that. You know what that is? That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, "Country pleasing, please." They'll know what you're talking about.
People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here, leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I...
1059 and worldwide.
Now, here we go.
At the zone, 1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Here with Beeve, here with you. Glad y'all are a part of it today. So get on in here. Get on in here. You can be a part of the show in different ways. Comment on the live stream, YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter. Just, post a comment. It pops up on the screen here in front of me, and then I can click it, and everybody can see it. Sven, for example, on the YouTube live stream, he said just a little bit ago, he says, I claim the 1492 championship for Mississippi State. Nobody can prove that we would not have won it back then. See what I mean? Claim it. Nobody cares. Claim it. Nobody cares but us. When you claim a bunch of national championships, especially when they were long, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110 years ago, nobody cares but your people anyway. You can also text me on the Country Pleasing text line. The number to text is 885-3776, a 601 number, 885-3776. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves all around the Southeast. It's the best, hands down. And phone lines are open to you today. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, look out. No, you're not sitting on a railroad track. I'm worried that might scare some people. I might have to. The Junction phone line, fueled by Prince Oil, fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. Fuel for your vehicle, fuel for your stomach. The number to call on the Junction phone is 897-1059. When you call that number, talk to Beeve, then talk to me, and then talk to us. We'd love to hear your voice. People get tired of hearing mine. Let's hear your voice. 897-1059. That's the number to call, so give me a shout. Headlines are coming up, and we got some good ones today. We'll recap that. We'll recap it. Let's see. Jason in Flagstaff, he texted the show. He says, who was and what happened to that kid from Tupelo Middle School who threw the 60-yard bomb straight up the rail? He said, if I can remember, he says, you retweeted that a couple of years ago. Well, you know who I think it was, and I think he was a seventh grader then, Jason. But his name is J.W. Roper. He's in the 9th grade now at Tupelo. Kid can absolutely play. I mean, he's like 7th grade. They're beating everybody 40-0 when, the last couple of years, 7th and 8th grade football at Tupelo. And he's just like throwing. I mean, it's fun. Fun to watch. He can evermore throw it. Hey, look at here. Over to the phone, the aforementioned Junction phone, fueled by Prince Oil Company. We got Terrence on line 1. Thanks for calling, Terrence. What's up?
Hey, Matt, how you doing this afternoon?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good to hear your voice. How are you?
Good to speak to you too, man. You blowing that train horn reminds me of the train that runs behind my house here in Bosa, man.
Well, it reminds me of, I live in Tupelo, and like the main intersection in the middle of town in Tupelo is called Crosstown. That's where Main Street
I know where it is. Yeah.
And man, that train, everybody's trying to get to work and school, and the train inevitably comes through at 8, and then at lunch, and then about dinner time. It's going to come through there every time.
Yes, indeed. Listen, I've got about 4 items on my list. I'm going to try to go through them real quick. Number one, shout out to the staff and the students there at Southern Miss. We moved our daughter into our dorm this past weekend, and they brought some of the football players and some of the cheerleaders and some other staff members from their athletic department, and they were so gracious in helping us move in and move our daughter in, and they're excited about the games against Mississippi State and Texas State coming up. So a shout out to the athletic staff and for all that they did for not only for my daughter but for all of the students that moved in this weekend.
Yeah, that's really cool. So they showed up and actually helped carry your stuff?
Yes, my daughter had a lot of stuff, and so what they did was when we got there, there were certain spots that were designated where students could drop off their things, and either a player or a cheerleader or somebody from the athletic staff would come.
That's
and
great.
they had a wagon. They had one young man had an actual golf cart with like a tow on the back of it that that helped moved around, and it was just real fun and so exciting to see the football players, cheerleaders, and other members of the athletic staff to come and just help. Not only my daughter, but a lot of the kids that had moved in on Friday. So I shout out to Southern Miss and their personnel for doing that this weekend.
That's really cool. Yeah, thanks for letting us know that.
Yeah. Number two, I got a kind of not necessarily predictions per se, but a couple of prognostications. One, I think Mississippi State, the football team this year, I think it's going to be much improved, and I think it's going to be along in the trenches. I see where they got a lot of transfers, especially on the defensive line, and I think the 2 wins that State got last year, I'm going to say they probably get up to at least 5. I know the schedule may not be conducive for at least 5, but I think that team is going to show much improvement this year, especially with the second year under Levy and that offense. I think State is going to be a little bit better than what some people may think.
Yeah, I think they have a chance to be. You know, I'm curious to see it come together. I do know this, Terrence, you know, they really have improved, you know, just their roster overall with so many linemen on both sides of the ball that they went and brought in the transfer portal. I know they improved the roster. Whether or not it kind of comes together and you win some games, we'll see. But they're going to have a better team. I do know that.
Yes. Now, conversely,
okay.
And I'm going to say this to all my Ole Miss fans. Now, again, I'm an Ole Miss grad myself. I think Ole Miss takes a step back this year. Not a whole lot of steps back, but I think they do take a step back. And the reason I say that is because of the talent and personnel that they've lost due to graduation and the NFL draft. I think when you replace that many players on a team within a season span, I think it's natural to think that you may take a step back. And a step back may be 7-5. It may be 8-4. I can't see 9-3.
Yeah.
But I think they take a little step back, and then maybe next season they'll take a big step forward.
Yeah. So, you know, I can see where you're coming from. And, you know, if you were to just start with quarterback, and I know the kid that is going to play for him this year, he's like really talented. He's left-handed. When you saw him throw the ball some last year, you can really zip it around. But there's also a chance, Terrence, that there's some transition pains that they go through because Jackson Dart is really, really good.
Yes.
And he's showing that already early in his preseason stuff with the Giants. Kid is like he's not just a really good with a shot at the NFL. No, he's like surefire NFL starter kind of player. And sometimes you do replace that, but sometimes you don't, you know? And if you don't, he may be talented, but if he's not as consistent or can handle 65, 70 plays the way that Dart did, there may be some growing pains. I can see where you're coming from.
Right. And it's not to say that they won't be a good team. I just think for them to, you know, at least try to make a playoff run, I don't think it's going to be this year. I think it's going to be next year. And then, too, like I said, when you lose that amount of players to graduation into the draft, as you alluded to, it's going to take a while before everything gels together. But they'll still be good, but I don't think they will be as good as some people may think or as some Ole Miss fans may want them to be. So, but we'll see that they'll play the games. Last thing, to the SWAC office, they did not do my Alcorn State Braves no favors. Matt, check this out. The last 3 games Alcorn played, Grambling at home, Southern at home, Jackson State and Jackson. That's the equivalent of playing Alabama, Georgia, and Texas at the end of an SEC schedule.
Yeah.
They did not do us any favors.
No, that's
whatsoever.
well, and you better make some hay before that stretch comes along, because that's going to be tough.
It's the only good thing about that is 2 of the games are at home, Grambling and Southern. That's the only, that's the only, I guess, the only benefit that we have is that 2 of those 3 games are at home.
Right.
But to end the season with those 3 teams, that is a recipe for disaster. Hopefully we can win 2 of the 3 maybe, but it's going to be tough sledding at the end of the season for my Alcorn Braves.
I think you're probably right. But, hey, look, step on up. It'll be fun one way or the other. Hey, and Terrence, thank you so much for the phone call. I'm going to send you out with the Alcorn band since you asked me for it.
And that was my last thing. I heard it last week, and I said, hot dog it, Matt finally got some. So I appreciate you playing that for me, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Terrence.
All right, have a good one.
Have a good one. Thanks for the phone call. Here they go. I can never remember the name. The Alcorn State Band has a name, like, the JSU Sonic Boom. It's Alcorn State something, and I can never remember it. What is it? My memory's getting bad on me. Is that what it is? Something. I tell you what, let's push headlines back just a little bit. Headlines on the show are always brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Luminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Robbie, our favorite Auburn fan here on the show, Robbie says, Matt, did you hear how many national championships we have now at Auburn? He said, wow, that's awesome. And then he said, not sure what to make of it. Well, I'll tell you what to make of it is you're just doing what a lot of others have done, Robbie. That's all it is. War Eagle. I'm not making light of it either. I mean, it's a significant thing. A school decides to claim past national championships or whatever. But like I said, Robbie, I don't think it matters one way or the other. It's not like it has an effect on recruiting or anything. It doesn't have effect on anybody else. The people who care the most, whether or not you claim a past national title, are your own people. So claim it. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. You got 9 now. Congrats, Robbie. All I want to know is, y'all know him. He's a listener, and he texts and he calls every now and then. Scott Stacy lives in the Madison area. Played on the Auburn. He went to Prattville High School, went to Hines, played at Auburn 93, 94. He was on the 93 team, one of those Auburn teams that's claiming a national championship. What I want to know is, are the 93 guys get big, fat national championship rings now? For all I know, they might have given them to him back then. I don't know. I want to know. What are they getting out of it? Does anybody get anything out of that? That's what I want to know. Okay, and then one quick thing. Terrence, on his call, he mentioned he thinks State's going to be better on the line of scrimmage. Kobe asked this question a little while back on YouTube. He said, hey, Matt, how do you think the defense is going to be this year? Let me just, for Terrence and Kobe and for me and all of us, I'm going to recite it again because if you're like me, I need to hear it several times to get to where I can start to remember these things. But this is what we're talking about. This is what I'm talking about when I say, like, I didn't need somebody to do the math and tell me State's offensive line is averaging bigger than they were a year ago. I've been out there and look and go, wow, look at all of them. There's more of them. They're all bigger. Or it looks, defensive line, same thing. You go to scrimmage. I was like, man, it's so great to see how many defensive linemen they're transferring. They are transferring. They are rotating in and out every group, every series, every play. They're just rotating them. They got so many. compared to what we saw a year ago. But this is what I'm saying. Here we go. Offensive line, state. You ready? New players who are factoring in. Keenum from Kentucky. Owens from Colorado. Smith from UTEP. Steen from Virginia. Mayberry from Stanford. Bolden from Purdue. James from Akron. All right, there's 7, and that's before you get to any of the others, signees or elsewhere. There's 7. I mean, you're only going to play 5. I'm not saying those are all starters, whatever. I'm just saying those are all new D1 type guys that are now there. They're all factoring in. They're competing. Okay, so that's offensive line. Let's look at D-line. Do the same exercise with defensive line. I know we've done it before, but let's do it again. Ready? And keep in mind, everything I'm about to say is on top of people like Bingley Jones being healthy again, who is a past transfer from North Carolina. Dinkins, who's healthy again, all that. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Thomas, Northern Illinois. Hibbler, NC State. Reed from Auburn. Whitson, Coastal Carolina. Coates from Charlotte. Burrows from Miami. Bledsoe from Texas. So what's that, 7? So again, 6 to 7, and every one of those weren't here last year. D1 recruits, athletes, bodies that are now they're here. All in the mix, rotating in and out, competing for playing time and spots. It's a whole different thing. Whether or not these units come together, certainly O-line, an offensive line, 5 of them on the field together, they kind of have to, you got to have time in the seat together, because it's like playing zone defense in basketball. You're not on your own. You're operating all together. One guy's a little bit out of step, the whole thing breaks down. Same thing playing offensive line, zone blocking and all that. Right? But still, we're not, so you got to do it. But it's just all these guys you didn't have. And then when you do that, you bring in 7 into the room who are all highly recruited, or more so than you, and you've been there. Well, all of a sudden the light bulb comes on and you go, man, if I want to get some playing time here, it just got a lot tougher. And you either rise to it or you don't. If you rise to it, now all of a sudden you're better. Everybody's better. Team's better because you're better. So there will be an element of being better. How much? To what degree? How early does it show up? All that stuff remains to be seen. But we will see. And it won't be long. Hey, and regarding the Auburn thing, claiming all the national championships, somebody was joking around on in the comments under that post that Jason sent me that, hey, you want to know how we know that fall camp may not be going that great at Auburn? Tuesday, August 19th. Hey, we're claiming a bunch of national championships, and 7 of them. We're claiming 7. Take that. Tell Feinbaum, call me when he wants me on. JS290 commented on YouTube. He said, is Cohen under pressure at Auburn? He says, Auburn fans should have treated legacy Bo Nix better than claiming these false natties. And he called it a Pavlovian response. Man, I tell you what, Auburn fans, there's a lot of really good people associated with Auburn, and Auburn fans, there's some really good ones, some really, really fine people, but they have their fair share, and maybe even more of their fair share of what's the nicest way to say it? Airheads. There. Because, man, they were convinced Bo Nix was the problem. He can't do it. He's a problem. And, you know, he wasn't perfect. But go watch the tape when he was playing on. He ran for his life. You talk about putting a kid in a tough situation year after year after year, game after game. And all he does is go to Oregon, competes for a Heisman, starting quarterback as a rookie for the Denver Broncos. For whatever it's worth, the NFL puts out their list of top 100 players, and he's like 40-something. It's ridiculous. Yeah, okay. But he was the problem. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Sure he was. Never was. Never was close to your problem. Boy, about 70%. Robbie, tell the truth. I'm not saying it was you, but about 65, 70% of your fan base sure had been convinced he was the problem. Wrong. Never was. My man, hope you're feeling better. He says, Matt, I don't know if you have answered my question. He said, asked it a while back. I was wondering what your broadcast prep looks like for the seasons. Well, I can answer that for you when we come back. It won't take long to answer it. I'll just kind of give you the short version. But yeah, we'll get that question answered for you when we come back. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. Back after this. Y'all have heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile, others that they work with. Can't recommend them enough. If you need your logo printed, embroidered, sewn on to anything, custom apparel and other stuff, make sure you go there. Murray West, you can find them online. MurrayWest.com. That's MURRY West.com.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both.
Break me off a piece of that.
Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast, walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
I was born and raised in Greenville. I've always called Greenville home. This is where I, was raised, went to high school, graduated high school, worked all my life here leading up to going to college. So even when I moved from Greenville, I always told people, they asked me where you're from, I always said I'm from Greenville. I have mother, father, brother, niece, aunt, all live here in Greenville. So this is home. This is where I, live, and I've just always called it home. Small town, I feel like I could walk in any place tomorrow and know 2 to 3 people in there. It's small town. Someone's on the side of the road broken down. Hey, you need a boost, flat tire, you need help changing it. That's just kind of, what I love about this area. The blues and the food and everything that comes along with the Mississippi Delta that I love. I tell people all the time, my business cards have my cell phone number on them.
Losing again. You're going to hear about them all and get to talk about it with Matt Wyatt right here, right now on the Zone 105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
Back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance, go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau. Let's see here. Regarding how much would he pay to go into the post-game press conference, Boomer Sooner said, and reason I talked about it with him is because his school, Oklahoma, is offering a package where if you pay enough money, they'll let you go to the press conference after the ball game. And I think it was like $600 to go to the one after the Michigan game, and the SEC opener against Auburn, it's like $500. And it's not, there's plenty of people that would, for a one-time experience as a big supporter of a school, would happily pay that just to see what it's like right after a game, go to the press conference, I guess. But Boomer Sooner says, I wouldn't give $5 to go to a doggone press conference. And my man. I'm with you. Thing about it is, Boomer Sooner, there are plenty of people who will pay that. That's fine. To each is their money. Spend it on what you want. Jared commented, he said, I thought Sven was trying to claim Discovering America. Yeah, he said the 1492 championship, nobody could have beaten us back then. I'll never be convinced otherwise. State Grad 98 says, in all seriousness, though, while at State, you showed me kindness on a few occasions when you didn't have to, and I've always remembered that. Well, man, great. I'm glad. And thanks for the kind words. If you can't be kind, what's wrong with you? Put that on a motivational poster somewhere, right? State Grad 98 is real simple. If you can't be kind, what's wrong with you? White Denzel Texas show says, PSA, Jason in Flagstaff needs to keep his texts between the hours of 12 and 2. He said his nonsense doesn't fly between the hours of 3 and 6. That is all. What does that even mean? I want to see if Bieber can figure out what that means. My man. Beef!
Matt Wyatt.
So Denzel says Jason just needs to text on my show, and he doesn't, in his words, his nonsense doesn't fly between the hours of 3 to 6. So that would be the Jake show. What's going on there?
So yesterday, Jake's still doing this nonsense, quote unquote, high school tour.
I like it.
You haven't sat through every minute of it like I have.
Okay. Noted.
So yesterday, Jason texted in asking Jake, hey, when you were in North Mississippi, did you do any fishing? And I said, yeah, you're on the wrong show, man. And then Denzel sent that yesterday, but there wasn't a chance to get it read yesterday. Okay. So he just resent it here because Jason was more likely to hear it.
So you're saying that it's pointless to ask Jake if he went fishing?
Yeah.
What's Jake been saying about the high school tour that he's doing? Is he enjoying it?
I guess.
Guess? Okay. All right. Did I see that he was at Oak Grove?
Yeah, yesterday.
Where's he going to be today?
Today, nothing today.
Okay.
No show.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah,
Maybe traveling.
Other priorities are more important than his show, which is his job, but taking off to do something else.
Yeah, gotcha. So, Chicken Hawk, I don't know if Chicken Hawk's trying to stir something up here or not, Beaver, but Chicken Hawk has texted us on the Country Pleasing text line. He calls me Bobtail. He said, my brother Bobtail, hashtag Hail State. And then he said, it's breakfast, dinner, and supper. I couldn't let you get away with sounding like you were north of the Mason-Dixon line. Signed Chicken and then Hawk. But here's the thing. He's saying that the 3 meals a day should be called breakfast, dinner, and supper. Do you think that's a typo, or do you think he actually considers lunch to be called dinner? Chicken Hawk, you might want to check that. Surely, Chicken Hawk, you're not saying that lunch is a non-Southern deal. Because, look, I'll admit it's breakfast, lunch, and supper. Okay, it is supper. You know, fancy way of saying it is dinner. But everybody says lunch, don't we? Oh, thanks. Scott, More Bully, both got me corrected. The Alcorn State Band is called, they are called the Sounds of Dynamite. I don't know why I'm going to have to write it down. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Dynamite. There. I wrote it on the desk, so now I can look down anytime I want. That way I'll remember it. Joe Mailman texts the show and says, Norman, Oklahoma is a pretty cool city. He said he's been there several times, home of James Garner. He said, I had to check out the inside of the stadium after seeing many games on television. This past Saturday, 48 years since the king of rock and roll passed away. Yep, Elvis. It was the anniversary of Elvis's passing. He said he thought Beaver would like to know that. And then he says, I've heard that real bacon bits is good on caramel donuts. Hey, it is. I've had it. Really good. It's really good. I've had it. J-Rock texts. He says, if you're allowed to go to the press conference, can you ask any questions? See, that is the question. That's what I want to know. Like, what would be, I don't know about going and just sitting in on it, but can you ask a question? That would be, what's that worth? Here we go. That's in headlines. Let's do that.
Good evening. I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world.
Good evening and welcome to Eyewitness News.
Here's what's making news.
Headlines on the show brought to you by the Mortgage Man Group, powered by Illuminate Bank. Find them online at mortgagemanms.com. Anything mortgage related, that's where you want to go. mortgagemanms.com. Florida quarterback DJ Lagway took team reps yesterday for the first time since training camp began. Good sign for the Gators. He's back. He's practicing, but man, he has missed a lot of camp nursing that injury. Story we had earlier. Oklahoma is offering fans a chance to attend post-game news conferences, but you're going to have to pay to do it. It's a part of this thing they're doing called Sooner Magic Memories. Why does that tickle me that we are calling it Sooner Magic Memories? The cost for two people to sit in on the media session after the Oklahoma-Michigan non-conference showdown, September 6th, is $692.11. For the SEC home opener against Auburn, September 20th, it's $576.86. Now, it does specifically say here during the story that it is to sit in on the media session. Get exclusive post-game media access for you and one guest. The season opener, August 30th, Oklahoma's playing Illinois State. That post-game press conference attendance fee is $461. They've sold it out. Pretty interesting. And it says, athletic departments across the country are looking for new revenue sources as the cost of fielding teams and attracting talent rises in the NIL era. Well, I mean, how many people are you letting in the post-game press conference for $500? I mean, and how much does that actually equal? Okay, and then finally, we've talked about this a lot, but if you're just tuning in, you need to know Auburn football is recognizing 7 additional national championships than what they have in the past. They are claiming 7 more now. They've always had the 57 and the 2010. That's Cam Newton. 2. Now they got 7 more. 1910, 13, 14, 1958, 1983, 1993, and 2004 when they were left out of the BCS national title game. The 83 team went 11-1. And the New York Times, something called Rothman, and the College Football Researchers Association named them national champions. The Associated Press didn't. So they're going to claim it now. Thank you, College Football Researchers Association for our recent national championship. All right, a little bit of time left with you. We'll find out if it is lunch or dinner when we come back in the Bureau. Back after this.
I'm Eddie Holcomb with Washington County Farm Bureau Insurance.
I'm Scott Rainwater with Farm Bureau Insurance here in Washington County.
I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau.
I'm Brian Street with Farm Bureau Insurance in Washington County, and we are your home team.
I think you know what time it is. It's time to eat. Country pleasing, jalapeno and cheddar, green onion. And no, it's not a grill, see that? But the fire is just about burnt down enough where it's time to put some of this on there. And the only decision when it comes to country pleasing sausage is which flavor, jalapeno and cheddar or maybe green onion. Both. Break me off a piece of that. Look at that. What that is. That's real green onion. Like that monkey who set his tail on a railroad track. It won't be long now. Country Pleasing sausage, these flavors, and many, many others. Get them online at countrypleasing.com. At a grocery store near you, pretty much anywhere in the Southeast. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please. They'll know what you're talking about.
Grew up on a family farm out past Leland. Just born and raised here in the Mississippi Delta. Never really thought about moving out. You know, it's where my roots are. Our family's a big sports family. It was 4 boys and 1 girl, and all 4 of us boys went and played ball at Delta Community College. My dad, he's always been honestly a role model of mine. He's farmed his whole life. We attend St. James Catholic Church in Leland, where we went to church my whole life, and then now continuing my family, me and my wife and my 3 kids. Being a Christian is everything for me and my family. being born and raised here in this area, there's just something about this area. I mean, when you pull into it, you don't see a whole lot, but being born and raised here and the farm families and just the people that grew up here, the people that you see here, you see in the grocery store, you go to church with, small town community, you're gonna run into people that you know. It puts a smile on your face knowing that you know the people in your area, in your community. Get to know them as friends and now bring them in to my office here and creating that relationship, extending it on, getting them as insureds, as customers of mine, who I call friend. I'm Blake Policini with Washington County Farm Bureau, and we are the home team.
Y'all heard me talk about Murray West and MurrayWest.com. They made the hat that I'm wearing. Got the Natchez Trace logo on it. I've told you a little bit about what they are. Contract embroidery company here in Mississippi. Started back in 1996, family owned. They do a phenomenal job, and I got to go visit their place up in New Albany. Let me show you a little bit about it. I say they do quality stuff. They really do. And so custom apparel, team stuff, I mean, really and truly, just about every high school in the state is sending their embroidered, team gear, jackets, shirts, hats, stuff. Baseball teams, football teams, they're sending it to the folks at Murray West in New Albany. You go to their website, MurrayWest.com, you go to the bottom, you can kind of see some of the Prairie Wildlife, Ole Miss Athletics, Gentile.
105.9 and worldwide at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team. Will says on YouTube, happy Tuesday, Matt. Well, back at you, Will. Happy Tuesday to you. Glad you're here on the live stream on YouTube, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter. Texting, calling, all of that. Staying connected here today because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. Check them out at cspire.com. You can text me on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-3776. That's a 601 number, 885-3776. Or you could be like this guy. You can call me on the junction phone, fueled by Prince Oil Company. Prince Oil has been fueling Central Mississippi since 1960. Fuel for your vehicle, fuel in your stomach at the Junction Deli. He is Gator Greg on line 1. What's up, Greg?
Well, Mr. White, I always enjoy calling you on the junction phone line.
Attaboy.
You were about to answer a question, I think, before you went to the breaks, that I was curious about your game preparation.
Yeah.
How much time you prep for the games when you're looking at the games? I mean, do you go? You mentioned the press conference, and you're not going to spend the money, obviously, to go see Mississippi State. That'd be kind of crazy. Like the fan, but do you go to the press conference? You listen to the opposing team, I guess, when the league has the conference calls? How much time you prepare actually in there studying tape and film? And then I looked at your schedule this year, Mr. White, and it's kind of interesting. You don't leave the state of Mississippi until October.
Mm-hmm.
You drive down to Hattiesburg, but Mississippi State's got, 3 or 4 games in a row at home?
Yep, 3 in a row, 2, 3, 4.
All of September. And then I was going to ask you, what's your road trip you're looking most forward to? You got a trip to Gainesville? You got one, to College Station?
Yeah, Fayetteville.
Arkansas, and then I think you go up to Columbia, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go to Columbia when the last time Mississippi State played up there, Mr. White?
Yes.
You remember that rain
storm? I do, yeah. It was a monsoon. And Dak still really threw the ball well in that game, in the rain. They handled it pretty well that night.
I remember it was a lightning delay for about an hour because I actually was kind of in between St. Louis and Kansas City, so I actually got that one and got doused on. I wasn't like you sitting up in the press box. I was sitting in the suite though. No, I'm just kidding, but I had fun at Columbia, Missouri. But, Mr. White, just kind of curious on how you prepare for the upcoming football season. We appreciate it, and you guys have a good one.
Appreciate it, Greg. Thank you. Chomp, chomp. Chomp, chomp. He is Gator Greg. Well, okay, yeah. More Bully asked the question earlier, and I'll kind of give you it's really not a long answer. It has changed recently. You know, it used to be a different deal pre-transfer portal era because there were more holdovers and players who had been at schools multi-years. There were more experienced quarterbacks coming back. So there was, you know, it used to be a different process of preparing to learn teams and that kind of thing. Because there is so much turnover one year to the next on everybody's roster, it's much more difficult to keep up with it. For me, it is as a whole, you know, like across leagues and all the college football and that kind of thing. So what I have done is sort of pulled back these last few years. I just look at the schedule, okay, and I focus, you know, primarily on those first 2 or 3 going into the year. I focus on that in terms of what I watch because it's the freshest. I'm someone who it needs to be recent to me. The farther back it is, you know, a lot of times I'll, you know, cram just ahead of time because it's freshest in my head. But the reason is because, you know, everybody you play has so many new faces and names that weren't there. Transfer quarterbacks, that kind of thing. But then the actual technical process, beyond the decision-making and the philosophy, the technical process of preparing for it for me, Greg, is thank the Lord for YouTube. I can watch any game pretty much from the last 2 to 3 years I want to find for any team that a player was playing on who's now transferred. This week, for example, I have spent time going back and watching Marshall from last year. Yes, they were coached by Charles Huff, but I'm really kind of looking at their quarterback, the style of offense, the way he played at Marshall, because you know they'll have something similar for him this year. So kind of watching that kind of thing. I clipped out, it's 13 plays from Braylon Braxton. He's this year's Southern Miss quarterback. He was at Marshall last year. And 13 plays, and I'm going to put together a little film study video. And doing that helps me to learn it. And so it's watching a lot of past game stuff on YouTube. I used to, a few years ago, still had, like I had the app on an iPad, just like, you know, players and coaches do, and have access to that kind of thing. And I just got to the point where I wasn't using it that much. I didn't really necessarily need it. It was actually a little more clunky using that than just watching stuff on YouTube and seeing as I didn't always need all 22 view to do what I do. You know, I'm just a radio man. So it's, you know, familiarity with a little bit of scheme and what coaches have done, and then familiarity with players and that kind of thing. And then the other side of this is something I never had to do before, but I have had to spend a lot of time, you know, last year and this year especially. I've spent a lot of time trying to get familiar with our own team. Because, you know, like there's a bunch of guys who are going to be playing for state, real playing time guys, who weren't even here in the spring. And they all switched jersey numbers. And so some of it is memorization and just kind of getting familiar. I am not someone who's going to lay out all 12 regular season opponents and begin to study all 12 in the preseason. Now, the last thing, my favorite road trip, I enjoy going to College Station in Texas. I've never been to Florida in Gainesville, Greg, so I'm looking forward to that. But my favorite road trip is anytime I get to go to Fayetteville, especially as late as November the 1st when we get to go this year, because it is absolutely gorgeous in that part of the world. I love driving up there and driving through it and stopping in and seeing all that. Sometimes stop and eat and take pictures and everything. So I'm really looking forward to the trip to, at the end of October, games on November 1st, that time of year. It is a great time to go to Fayetteville, Arkansas. I think it's a really pretty place. Another one? All right. Over to the phone. It's Winslow on line 2 of the Junction phone, fueled by Prince Oil Company. What's up, Winslow?
Is it the Junction fuel line?
It is the Junction phone line, fueled by Prince Oil Company.
My phone is so old it still uses leaded gas.
Attaboy. Ethanol.
But anyway, okay. Do you know what today is?
What is today? Yeah, it's August the 19th.
Yeah, but I think about the scene in The Jerk where Steve Martin runs around. The new phone books are here. The new phone books are here. Well, the football tickets are here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Officially dropped into my wallet today. Well, about halfway through. So you know it's football season when you have to start downloading stuff into your wallet, parking passes and tickets or whatever.
There you go.
And I'm very relieved. We actually got lower level in Hattiesburg. I will not have the back wall of the stadium as my chair back this time.
Hey, and get this, Winslow. Like, I don't want to jinx it, but have you looked ahead at the potential weather?
No, and my wife mentioned that because she said, I hope it doesn't rain on us again.
Yeah, I know. Well, here's what I was going to say. The northern part of the state, and it can be a lot different than central or south, but like where I live in the northern part of the state, when we get into next week, through the weekend, it's going to start cooling off, and then all next week, game week, the 10-day forecast, it is going to be unseasonably cool for quite a few days next week. I hope that lasts into that weekend in Hattiesburg.
I would not mind because we're probably going to have to park in Seminary, and it's a pretty long walk, to get to the stadium in 90-degree weather. Somebody asked a question about if you sit in the press conferences, if you can ask a question, and I can only speak for baseball. They call on people there, so more than likely that's probably going to be one of the provisions that you can observe only.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Well, it says it in there. Get to observe the media press conference, so it doesn't say.
State has that thing they call maroon memories where, you get to do certain things.
Yeah. Well, and this is very similar, and some of the same people that started that program at State, like Leah Beasley, she now works in the Oklahoma athletics department.
That's right.
So not surprised to see it.
But it can be neat. I know one year the Clarion Ledger bought into that, and I won a trivia contest and got to go down and present the game ball and go out for the coin toss. Cool. And that was that's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Winslow, good to hear from you, man. Thanks for calling.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. That's going to end up on. Will, got your comment. You like the old football games on TV? Yeah, especially the old ones, too. Yeah. These new ones, they block it, even if it's on your TV screen here. But see, maybe we'll try the old one. Listen, y'all, thank you. It's been fun today. Texts, calls, comments on the live stream. Thanks to Beaver, all of us here on the show. We'll do it again tomorrow in the Bureau. See you then. See ya.